Right, yeah, so let's get into this whole AEW Dynamite 3-year anniversary breakdown. I don't call it a breakdown, just thoughts and discussions. Uh,
Yeah.
a lot more raw version of content versus a full-on review to something you've already seen. So as usual, go and watch the show and then come back. If you ain't watched the show, this ain't the one for you, man. We're just gonna talk the shit, not break down the whole thing play by play. You've got people for that. That ain't our job, man.
Damn, son. Told them straight like that. But exactly that. Nah, yeah, we're doing it differently around here, man. These are watch the show yourself and you'll have your own. I mean, you'll know what matches have gone down and if you like it or not or whatever. We're just here to say our own opinions on extra stuff. Or maybe not even extra stuff. Stuff within the match, of course. But
Yeah, 100%,
you know,
100%.
other bits more time.
You
No
wanna-
play by play around here. No play batty, but
No, that being said, do you wanna jump straight to the juice? Jump straight to the story that broke afterwards.
yeah, might as well, because it happened obviously, but I think it happened before the show, because
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah,
yeah, because
In fact,
they kicked off that match way before.
yeah, it definitely happened before the show. People were saying that Sammy had no effects on his face during the matches, so it obviously happened before, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently there's another backstage altercation.
Man, AEW needs to I don't know, I don't know, but it seems to be back to back stuff is just happening all the time.
It does, and they don't need it right now. It just seems so lawless. It seems wrong. I don't know, but yeah. So from what we've seen, or from what we heard, we should say, there was a backstage altercation between Andrade and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah,
Apparently, Andrade was waiting backstage.
waited for him backstage.
Waiting for him backstage. And this is from his comments from the weekend. I think over the weekend he said something like, not weekend, sorry. A few days ago, he was saying, you know, he doesn't really care. He doesn't care about getting fired. You know, he's waiting for something to happen. He likes Triple H, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were warned before the show. You know, I don't want no physical or any problems getting out. I don't want no problems. And here's Andrade waiting backstage for Sammy to come through.
Isn't it? Like, what else was gonna happen if you're waiting for the guy?
100%. And apparently, he tightened him up.
I heard Sammy threw no punches, and he just got.
He
Took a few.
He took a few and did nothing. See, with that information, it makes me think: does he antagonize people, knowing that, you know, they'll come after him and he does nothing and they get suspended? You know, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, because the thing with Sammy is he's got this personality to him, and everyone can feel it because the wrestlers are saying the same thing. Obviously, I used to be a fan of him. You know, when he started off, he came across with the same persona as well. He wasn't you know, this humble guy. He was very not humble, very the opposite. That's how he was shown to us already to begin with. Anyway, along the way, obviously, we learned to. He was a good wrestler. He was a good wrestler. His personality stayed the same, sort of, but there wasn't nothing really showcasing how he actually is. I think with him being with Ty, I think it makes him look even more of how he was in the first place.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Just cocky and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think he was a lovable heel to before. He was like a kind of not lovable. So excuse me. He was the cocky heel.
Yeah, it works sometimes, obviously, but then if that is your actual personality, then yeah, it's not going to take you very far.
Yeah, I mean, he was the cocky heel, but again, when his character shifted from that, the cockiness was still there, and then obviously he's got this relationship on screen with Ty, and it has ruined him. His in-ring work ain't all there in terms of execution. Like I always talk about Pac and how people give him shit for, you know, sometimes his moves, he takes a bit longer to execute him. There's like a little delay, but he always executes them on point. Whereas Sammy, he just does the thing, and he doesn't care if he injures you, injures himself, and it's not in a derby way, the controlled, reckless. Sammy's is just, it just looks untrained. And yeah, his in-ring work hasn't been all there, and obviously that fused with all the negative stuff he's getting backstage, and obviously the crowd, his fans are kind of turned on him a bit. But he's just not likable, and not in the heel sense, just in the the person. Like, I bet you are a dickhead in real life type thing. And many people,
yeah, you can tell he's like that. You can tell he's like that,
yeah.
And that's why when Eddie said what he said, I was like, you could tell that he's like that. Like, he wasn't. I bet he was like when he was younger. He just done what he wanted. He didn't get told off or nothing. He'd just do his own thing or whatever. He's one of them kids. He's one of them kids that they're just unruly.
Yeah, he gives me single child vibes. Like you never had a brother to G check you,
Yeah, settle him down.
Settle down.
Relax with that stuff,
Chill out with that and take your console away, take your pad away and hide it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's got away with everything. He got away with murder, and now you're in the real world, and people aren't just gonna take it. And he seems quite confused about it, but it just seems like he's getting involved in all these things. Not to say people should just go put their hands on him.
Yeah, nah, never that. But you can just tell that he rubs people the wrong way. You can feel it, just by the way he is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
you can see that in his vlogs and stuff. You can see sometimes, there's the side to him where it's like, okay, yeah, he seems a bit humble. But then there's the sides where you could just tell, man, he's just like, I don't know, man. But you can tell he's got something about him that is unlikable, and that's in his genuine personality, rather than him trying to work that he's a bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You can just see it, especially with the people that he's pissing off. You don't even talk to them type people. Like, imagine he's bumping in and having issues with Eddie Kingston backstage. Or why are you even in the same room in most times? So I feel like, it's clear. It comes across, and again, even viewers at home who've never even met the guy, you can feel that on his blogs. You can tell he's just that way. You know what I mean? It's his way or nothing else. Does what he wants to do. So
yeah. But at the same time, let's do a little devil's advocate. At the same time, I say Eddie has a problem with quite a lot of people as well. So maybe there's something with Eddie. And I would say Andrade at the moment, he seems like he's on a path that he does want to get fired, and maybe he doesn't want to work with the company anymore, because he's been doing a lot of stuff, hinting that he wants to leave the company, etc. on his Twitter. All this subliminals like free El Lilo and all that stuff. So maybe Sammy was just the unfortunate person to cross the paths of these people. But yeah, that's just devil's advocate. That's just because
with that, I
the situation.
Eddie Kingston works with people he hates a lot more. Like, again, he hates anyone from Ring of Honor pretty much. Hates Punk, hates Claudio, and he's worked with them. They've had a program, no problem, moved on. So you can't tell me that there's a blood feud with them practically, and he's chill or can be professional, but they bump into Sammy. It just, you know what I mean? It's just, or maybe it's just, again, the older ones are more professional with their conduct, and Sammy's just young. Say what you want, do what you want, act how you want. He's got ties, so he's thinking, I've got it made. So I think, I mean, although they are obviously looking for trouble at some point, it seems to be him the one that receives it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people on that roster.
Yeah, you know what I think as well? I think there was a problem with Sammy and Ethan that time, because Ethan was after man's throat.
Oh gosh, they wouldn't
even. It seemed anyway that he was after his throat.
Everyone, even the crowd sensed that when they got in the ring with each other that time. The crowd went nuts. They're like, "Oh god, you're fucked."
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, from this situation, it seemed like Andrade was the one to be in trouble in a sense, because obviously Sammy didn't hit back or anything like that. I'm not too sure who started it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard at first that Sammy pushed him or something like that, but more time in situations it shouldn't get to the physical aspect of it. A push is a push at the end of the day. Sometimes it's not the same as a as a punch in your work environment. You know what I mean? Like, if someone pushed me in my work environment, okay, yeah, you're stepping over the line. I'm not gonna then go and punch you. Especially not at work or whatever. Even if I got a problem, it just can't go to those levels. I don't know. it's a weird one because I also heard that they had a meeting to say, we obviously know you man are got some problems, so you can't be fighting or whatever. I'm sure I heard. See, this is the thing again. I heard, and we've already been on the lines of sometimes you gotta like take a step back from what you hear. Sometimes it's just not true. Yeah, but yeah, from speculations and whatever. I think it was along the lines of Tony saying to Andrade, if you fight, all that's going to happen is you're getting sent home, basically. You're not going to get fired because at the moment it seems like that's what you want to do. Maybe it's true. I think maybe Andrade isn't afraid because he knows if he does get fired, he knows exactly where he's going.
This is the problem with how you deal with certain situations. If you look at Punk and the Bucks and all that stuff and what happened there, the Punk, we don't even know what his punishment was. And the Bucks, they got a quick suspension. They walked into his locker room and threw fuel into a fire or whatnot. So again, at the moment, it's just, again, there's no huge punishment. So you're either thinking, you know what, I'm gonna get away with this. Let's say he was fired. How are you gonna fire me and not fire Punk? Or how are you gonna fire me? So it just creates like an unbalance. But yeah, I think more to the point, everyone knows they're locked into a contract. If we've got Triple H sending them all texts like, when you coming back? I'm stuck in my contract, I feel lost, blah blah blah. You can't get out your contract. The only way out of it is if you're released or fired. Let me tighten up Sammy Guevara backstage and get fired out my contract. So there's a lot of things that kind of factor into this. He needs to get his disciplinary system into place because no one knows what actually happens and whatnot. But if everyone wants to go elsewhere, like WWE for example, and you're stuck in a contract, you're gonna have to make it so that he has to get rid of you. So you're gonna have to become a problem or do things like this. So
yeah, and that's what you don't want as well, because when people are when that's people's resort that they need to do something bad in order to just get out the contract, then it's gonna go all upside down, you know what I mean? But to be fair on Andrade's part, he isn't being used the way he should be, to be honest. From when he's debuted, man, it's just been it's been rubbish. He's actually so good in the ring. He's had a few good matches in that. Obviously, that triple threat with Sammy and Darby was amazing. And he had his matches with Pac and all that stuff. Other than that, where's he been really? He hardly has matches.
His book has been shit. It's been absolutely shit.
His book has been terrible. So I to a point, I understand that why you would want a release or why you want to act out. But at the same time, yeah, if this is a resort to people, because Tony's saying he's not handing out releases anyway, that regardless. So especially if he knows that you're gonna do something just to get out your contract.
But yeah, you don't run anywhere else. Like you couldn't just, like Vince says, I'm not releasing his talent, and then they go backstage and beat up flipping The Miz. Like it just wouldn't happen anywhere else. Like if you're in a contract, all right, you can be unhappy and vent it and do your little cryptic nonsense, but you know what I mean. You shouldn't be able to resort to just doing this because there's no other punishment other than being let go. So I think
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
top, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the punishment side needs to be like more heavier than what it's seeming to be. Because there's no fear. What is there to fear? You can do what you want, and all you're gonna do is get sent home, or something along those lines, isn't it? So
which is what they want.
It just needs to be tightened up somehow.
Yeah, I think he just needs to take more of a authority role because there's no fear. But I don't know how he's gonna do that now. I mean, there's too many public displays of him just being soft. He loves being there. He loves the talent, all that stuff, and hugging them up and all that stuff. And it ain't a problem itself, but it's a visual demonstration that it just looks like you need them, which you do obviously, but you need to be like the Vince McMahon basically. Well, prior to the allegations, where you're like this known, fierce.
Just by the power aspect of him, yeah, exactly.
This power where you're not going to show me up at all, you know what I mean, and you're going to stick in your contract until the end of it, and that's that. You're not going to cause disruption, and if you do, we're gonna bury you on TV or whatnot, or we'll make your release, the worst state possible. So when you do get released, your name means nothing. You know what I mean? Not saying that that's right to do, but again, there has to be some punishment for you.
Yeah, I think
doing some
I think
shit
on the
like that.
side, yeah, definitely. I think on the business side of things, if you're gonna be in charge of people, they need to have certain boundaries and
It's respect, man.
yeah, certain levels of respect.
Mm-hmm.
You can be their friends and whatnot, but when it comes down to business, you need to know that you are, I'm the boss, and this is how things are gonna go, and you're gonna have to respect that, rather than someone that Tony. He just looks like I don't know. I don't want to. Let me not insult him in any certain way or anything, but yeah, he doesn't look like the type that's gonna enforce too much power and rules over someone. Especially, imagine him trying to tell us someone like Big Show or something. Big Show will probably just laugh at him. You know what I mean? Is what I'm trying to get at. Just
he couldn't enforce Marco's stunt.
Yeah,
he got no authority at all.
He doesn't look enforceable. That's the one. He doesn't look like he will be able to handle some enforcement.
No way. No, I can't see it. I couldn't see it. And that was displayed by Punk. He sat there nodding, yes, and all the stuff Punk's saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect showcase of it.
It was Vince would have locked off that interview, sent everyone home, and threw the shit around. God damn it! It would have been done. It would have even locked off the whole thing. And Punk wouldn't have even got to do that.
Punk would have been screwed on TV as well for it, and then he'll know better.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, as you said, this needs to be some form of authority, and just to say respect. If you respect,
respect.
Like this is the weird thing about wrestling. It's like people forget that it is a career path. Like it gets like warped. Imagine that you're at your workplace, right, and you want to leave and go somewhere else, and they're saying, well, no, you're in a contract until next year. Are you gonna just go and beat up some staff worker, like just beat up some office man to get released?
Yeah, for real.
Like what? What do you mean? Like why would you?
That's mad.
That's not the way the world works. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think in real world it's not. I think Andrade he shouldn't have done that, and the fact that he thinks that that's an option, that's obviously been spread. That's obviously the vibe that you can get out. You just have to become someone who's not easy to work with or whatever. So that's Andrade obviously has a plan, but on Sammy's front, I feel like he's just gonna mess with the wrong person one day.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, maybe that's why Andrade hasn't had so many matches, because he became a problem.
Yeah, it could be, because his booking is dog shit. He's been doing nothing important. The whole faction thing, whether it's his own one or whether it's that house family office bullshit, they're both shit. It's directionless. It's pointless. He ain't done nothing of worth since his Cody Rhodes feud. That was his goddamn debut, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean, he is really extremely talented. I was excited for him to come in. We was waiting for him to come in, thinking about all the matches he could face Kenny. Blah. I know he did that in Mexico, but boy, if he was released tomorrow, I would not give two shits, because he's been boring in AEW. And I don't think it is his fault, to be fair. I think it is just his booking. He's not a good,
literally.
I'm not gonna say he's not a good leader. The position they booked him in as a leader, keep making him talk like he's leading a bunch of bums. It's just a waste of time. WWE had the perfect pairing. It's him. There's Zelina Vega. Perfect. And he just goes out there and works. And they could have recreated that with someone here, or just leave him to do his own thing. But yeah, that magic's gone. It's gone. So yeah, I mean, he's been suspended for now. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Whether they're gonna get rid of him, or I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know if he was suspended. All I've heard is that he's been sent home. That was it.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know if he's been suspended or.
I don't have a suspension as of yet, but I'm sure that will come. Like, surely you can't have a fight and that's it.
But
there's definitely a suspension coming.
They're in now, because let's say they suspend him or fire him. Let's say they fire him, then it's like, well, Punk and the Bucks didn't get fired. If they suspend him, oh, I got longer than them, or he got a shorter time than us. If they don't do nothing, then you just tell the whole locker room that you go on, wait backstage and thump someone up, and you're good to go. So they're in a sticky spot, man.
Yeah.
But again, I guess more will come out. We'll probably cover it if anything juicy comes out, or if there is a decision made, we'll cover it.
And it's a shame as well because once again, these two would have great matches.
Yeah, they could have. Again, it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with them. I don't know. But that's definitely out the window now.
Yeah, I think AEW needs to. I don't know, man. It's all looking bad, basically.
This stuff, like situations like this, is they don't. I think it's like the how unprofessional it is. It really takes away from the show and the vibe, and like it takes away from the feel, because the show, to me, I know, with all this stuff going on, it just felt off. It just felt weird, and there's always like a weird vibe, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then you read backstage, all this stuff happened, and again, your thoughts of the company drop. Triple H must be laughing like, oh god damn, these guys can't. Everything gets leaked. Everything, it's just laughable. Like, they're just. You don't want to hear this stuff. You just want to watch a professional show, watch everyone build, watch all the talents build up, and they were finally doing it. It was finally on the right track, and then more stuff happened. I think you said it last week. It's like, what's next? Like, every week there's a new thing. Like, who's going to be involved in it next? There's always like every week you got to wait for the next break story about this person's unhappy, this person wants to leave, this person requested their release, this person fucking tightens on backstage.
It's too much at once, man. It's too much at once. It's like
much.
every minute there's something going on.
Yeah, so it's not a good look, man. I hope they can sort this out. And again, I'm sure it happens. I'm sure things like this happen in WWE, but you'll hear about it in some dirt sheet talk, or you'll hear about it like in a few years when someone does a interview. You don't hear about it just going on.
Yeah, just in general, fights happen. You know what I mean? Like, they can happen and move past it. That's fine. But I don't know, man. Everything all together at once, and so close to the next issue, is looking a bit mad.
Had 2 backstage fights within 30 days. I think it's 31 days. The Punk one.
Yeah.
and again, the Sammy was involved in another altercation, a few weeks before that. So, not a good look. But yeah, that's that. As I said, anything drops or any bombshells that drop, we'll cover it.